Hello, my name is Jilian Hanley, and my project is the effects of human settlement on ghost crab, Occipidae quadrata, which is the scientific name, their burrow density. Ghost crabs are very important. They play an important role in the food web. They eat detritus and small invertebrates. This specific ghost crab species lives in tropical and subtropical areas, such as the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. Ghost crabs are rarely seen in the morning because they are nocturnal in order to avoid predators such as raccoons and seabirds. Young ghost crabs burrow in the intertidal zone, right here, which is in between the low tide line and the high tide line. But the adult ghost crabs burrow in the supertidal zone and the aerosol zone. Due to their location, ghost crabs must prepare their burrows in the early morning due to waves. And there are many research studies that have been conducted on the relationship between human activities and ghost crab burrows. One study on this relationship was conducted by Dr. Moss, and the study was on the impacts of four-wheel driving on ghost crabs in southeast Queensland. It was found that the beach close to recreational four-wheel driving had significantly more ghost crabs than the beach open to recreational four-wheel driving. The objective of my project was to determine if human settlement affected ghost crab burrow density. And my hypothesis was that human settlement had a negative effect on ghost crab burrow density. The materials that I used were a clipboard, measuring tape, stakes, flags, and transect line. The beach with much human settlement was the beach in front of Holiday Isles condo and in a Dauphin Island condo, which is on the west side of the island. But the beach with little human settlement was the beach by the bird sanctuary. At each beach, 6 different locations were chosen for collecting data. At a site, 10 meters were measured in width with a transect line in order to create a parameter. Then the border lines of the intertidal and supertidal zones were marked. Within the 10-meter parameter and the supertidal and intertidal zones, the ghost crab burrows were counted. And here's my data. On the x-axis, we have the human settlement beach and the natural beach. And on the y-axis, we have the number of ghost crab burrows. The human settlement beach had 11 burrows in the intertidal zone, and it had 169 burrows in the supertidal zone. In the natural beach, there was 77 burrows in the intertidal zone and 395 burrows in the supertidal zone. So you can see that the natural beach has a lot more burrows than the beach with the human settlement. So in conclusion, my hypothesis was supported by my data that human settlement negatively affects ghost crab burrow density. The human settlement beach, the supertidal zone, had 226 less burrows than the beach with less human settlement, and the intertidal zone had 66 less burrows. So the beach with much human settlement had a smaller ghost crab burrow density. These are my sources. The Atlantic Ghost Crab by Lisa Yuza. The impacts of recreational four-wheel driving on the abundance of the ghost crab. Monitoring human impacts on sandy shore ecosystems, and the ghost crab, hungry nocturnal ghosties. I want to thank my project partners, Ayla, Hannah, Cameron, and Markel, who helped me flag the burrows, which there are over like 600, and measure parameters. I also want to thank the Dauphin Island Sea Lab teachers and counselors for mentoring me and giving me advice. I also want to thank Danny and Marty for giving me transportation to the project sites and helping with the planning. And I also want to thank my parents for supporting me, both financially and also for driving me from South Florida. So, are there any questions? Yes, Greg? Yeah, it was mostly similar. It was a 10-meter width, and then the intertidal and supertidal are the same length in meters. Um, it was 10 meters this way along before the aerosol zone, and then so many meters in the supertidal and so many meters in the intertidal zones. No. Yep. Okay. So basically, Greg was asking me how the areas were measured, and it's 10 meters this way, and then you have these supertidal and intertidal zones, and so these the supertidal and intertidal zones, the meters were equal for both the beach with human settlement and the beach with little human settlement. Are there any more questions? Thank you.